beautiful ones. I'm going to make it a video that's a little bit more serious than what I normally talk about. And it's this idea that a lot of us have, especially when we're younger, that we have all the time in the world, that we're guaranteed another 80, 60, 80 years, so however much, we think we're going to be here for. And that we don't realize that this experience is temporary, that our spirit may very well be infinite, but our bodies are not infinite. Our bodies are only here temporarily. We are not guaranteed another moment beyond this breath. Again, I repeat, we are not guaranteed another moment beyond this breath. And when we don't live accordingly, we don't act accordingly. So when we think we have all the time in the world, we put off the things that really matter to us. But you ask someone who has had a death experience or someone who is on their deathbed, and they will tell you what really matters. And people that have had death experiences or have had illnesses where they almost died, they come back differently. They come back changed because they realize what really matters to them. They realize how finite this experience is, how beautiful this experience is, because it is temporary, because it's only for a little bit. That we think, even though we think we have all this time, we don't know. We don't know whether we're going to be here tomorrow. We don't know whether we're going to be here beyond this breath that we have right now. So if we were to realize that, and we were to live and act accordingly, and we were to realize that what really matters is the love that we have inside, the love that we share with others, the good things that we can do for the planet, why we came here. We can live in integrity and we can live in truth. But when we think that we have all the time in the world and we can just do whatever we want because, let's just waste some time, I think it reflects in the way that we treat our body, and a lot of times in the way that we treat others. And I'm not saying that that's an absolute. Obviously, there's some people out there that are very aware of their mortality and have beautiful lives and are kind and loving, but that's not the case with a lot of us. And a lot of us, it takes for us to have a close experience with death for us to realize this is what really matters. Again, when you are on your deathbed, you are not going to be thinking about how many abs you have, what kind of car you have. You're not going to be thinking about how big your house was, or even your job. You're going to be thinking about things that really matter, who's around you, how your life was, what good did you do in this world. And so while we're here, let's take advantage of the time that we have here, because it is finite. Let's take advantage of the time that we have here, and let's try to love one another. Let's try to forgive one another. Let's try to make amends when we can and appreciate this existence, because someday we're going to look back on it and we're going to wish we could go back to it. And even though, for some of us, it hasn't always been positive, we're still going to miss this, because we're going to realize the value of this experience. And I guess it's about appreciating this moment and appreciating what's around you and loving those around you. Now, I was in the death industry for a long time. I went to school to be an embalmer and funeral director, and then I did tissue recovery for several years. And I got to see bodies, from babies to the elderly. And, we would get young bodies too, people that were very young that, maybe they took risks. They thought, what's going to happen to me? And, we're all responsible for doing things like that, not just in our younger years. But these people, they had beautiful bodies a lot of the times. And I guarantee you that they weren't thinking like, this is going to be the day that I die. They were probably thinking they had a lot of time. And what would happen if you could go back and live your life again? I guarantee you that you would live it differently than you do now. I guarantee you that you'd be more loving, that you'd be more forgiving, that you'd be more merciful, that you would treat your body better.